Hey guys! If you're new to my channel, I'm AmazzonKane. I'm a writer, I obsess over Anaconda, I do rewatch videos, and that's what this is. My ultimate goal is to run an official reboot of the series. You can see what that would look like on my channel, as I organized a small team to revamp the theme song. There are so many ways in this show that Angela and Nanette compete for attention. Here's a way that features their favorite bakery. This episode is Mapperson's daughter.
It is art, and today Mrs. Briggs is making us create beauty out of wet paper mache.
I think we should name him Benny. It has a quiet dignity so typical of his species. Isn't that right, Benny?
Yes, it is! A talking
Gordy's so
beast.
creative with his names.
It's not a beast, Nanette Manoir. It's a giraffe. Pardonnez-moi, Angela Anaconda. It's just that I thought our assignment was to create a work of beauty, which yours is most certainly not.
It means suck up to Mrs.
I
Brinks.
present the blushing goddess, Venus de Nanette. Perhaps next time,
AKA the Vanity Project.
Find a more suitable subject. Perhaps next time you will be able to take your stupid Venus de nothing straight to Mapperson's. Mapperson's, Buck? I've got to find the rest of this article.
What for? It's probably just another bake sale or something.
Damn it, Gina!
Here it is. Mapperson's Bakery. Smudge, smudge. Grunion Run. Retired? Retired?
Hold on, Benny. You'll make it through. I promise, little one.
Don't do it, Mr. Mapperson. Don't retire. If I don't get my daily dose of cinnamon swirls, I'll lose my mind.
Look what she
Shut
did
up,
to
Gina.
Benny.
Don't worry, Gina. I'm not retiring. The bakery truck is.
Whoa!
People shouldn't to rely on Mapperson's delivery service.
Don't
That's a good line, shut in to rely on it.
The face for the new truck will be back on the road. Say, I don't suppose any of you kids would want to have your face on the truck.
Me? The Mapperson's truck face?
I tell you what,
I mean, it sure beats that creepy face that they put on there.
I'd be happy to consider it.
Actually, I take that back. That could have been someone on the crew, in which case, please love me.
Truck face. Right, Johnny Abadi. So whatever you do, don't tell anybody anything. That way,
Don't trust
Mr.
Johnny.
Mapperson will be sure to choose my face or one of our faces to be the face. Where's your picture, Gina Lash? I'm not entering. People should buy Mapperson's pastries because they're a quality product, not because they've been dazzled by my good looks on the side of a truck. Besides, I have issues with the exploitation of my image for commercial gain. Suit yourself.
And you have no
Gina
problem with this show.
One less face in the running, my face's chance of having my very own face on its very own truck is that much better. I don't get it. How did everyone find out?
Damn it, Johnny!
I may have told a few people at the pizza parlor last night. And then
Oh my god!
face on the side of a truck. Don't tell anyone.
To be fair, Angela deserves it for all the time she abuses Johnny in the show.
I hope it's not too late for me, officially the prettiest girl in Tapwater Springs, to submit a professionally photographed entry portrait.
And photoshopped.
Huh? So now on account of Johnny Abadi had to go and make a public announcement, every face in the whole town has got a shot at being the new face.
Also, kind of funny that you can definitely tell this was made pre-digital camera. Because nowadays it would probably just be emailed. Or you'd have to submit it digitally.
The truck face is all anyone can think about.
But I like the older charm of the show anyway.
Baked goods is, we'll need 80 reams of paper, a gallon of toner, 17 glue sticks, and a fuzz buster. If you two want to be my publicists, you had better be writing this down.
Also, just...
You gonna eat that donut?
Donut? That's it. Enough about Mapperson's Bakery. I can't take the pressure anymore. Come on, Benny. I'm withdrawing my picture.
Gordy, you can't leave school in the middle of the day. It's truancy, punishable by 6 weeks of fat chili con carne. Another face.
God damn it, Gina.
Forgive me, Mr. Mapperson, but a burnt muffin! It's a sign! I should never have entered a contest fraught with such earthly vanities!
Oh, Josephine.
Mr. Mapperson, this contest is taking your focus away from your baking!
Shut up, Gina!
Or any more
Tight little
mothers fall
bitch.
victim to this senseless dog and pony show.
Now, don't worry, Gina. There's hardly any faces left in the running. Andy May dropped out because she thought putting her face on a truck would hurt. Fact is, the only kids left are Angela, Nanette, Johnny, and Jimmy Jamal.
Aww.
I know
What?
Jimmy Jamal.
I guess
Johnny, I guess it's up to you and me.
Jimmy Jamal thinks he's a squirrel now.
Well, too. Nona said that if I use my face to endorse Mapperson's instead of Abadi's, she'd give me the evil eye.
Hello, John. John's little friends.
lucky.
everywhere. Et voila!
Will ya look at that?
Walk around the block until I say so. Go, go!
Damn. Poor Johnny.
So now I am thinking that
Eh,
Minnie Cooper
he
has an
still went
impressive
willingly.
idea. Maybe I can use my dad's squeegee easy to also have an impressive idea too. I'll wash his window.
Because
and
sucking up
rinse
is only
the
bad
floor,
when Nanette
put
does
my
it.
face up on the truck. Then that somebody will frown and fret because he picked me and not Nanette. What a charming singing voice. I'm surprised every dog in town isn't howling.
Ha.
Don't get away with this, Angela Anaconda. Why, I'm going to...
These windows never looked cleaner. Nice job, Nanette.
Nanette!
Aw.
This would make it easier for customers to see into your bakery and view the wonderful baked goods.
That's the kind of consideration.
Again, it's also funny because it's such a small town thing.
Isn't it? I don't know why Mr. Mapperson...
But Angela and Nanette take it so seriously, because makes perfect sense.
Yeah, but who wants their face on the side
And I'm not
of a
being
moldy
sarcastic
loaf of
there.
bread? Don't you get it, Angela?
Small
The
town
only thing that
competition.
matters about Mapperson's is the product. That's it, Gina Lash. The product.
Marketing isn't.
May I please have
It's one of those things that's
of these
necessary.
on account of they are so delicious. I find them more than just delicious. I find them très magnifique. That's why I'll have 3. Well, then I'll have a baker's dozen.
This is so petty. It's really funny. Competitive eating.
Here to sample my new double chocolate macadamia sugar snaps?
Dang.
Nothing makes me happier than sampling your Trey Bon confections. Personally, I think it's quite rude to turn down offered food, especially when there are children starving in mainland China. You, Angela?
I like your attitude, Nanette.
The classic "there are children starving elsewhere, so be grateful you have food" argument.
Maybe I could have my face on a truck if I cheated too. Cheater, poodle feeder.
I mean,
So now that you have gotten your way, my famous face friend,
ooh,
let's take this baby for a
bread,
test drive.
bread van.
You will scream like a ninny. Poor little Nin. You're covered in
Oh, come on!
Don't worry, my dad's squeegee easy will clean you in a jiffy.
What the heck is with the lack of violence right now? You're gonna hit her with the truck!
Help me, oh Angela, whose face deserves to be...
I do like the collage look, though.
You will scream.
I appreciate the weirdness.
I will scream.
Alright, now we're getting something really sadistic.
You'll have to speak up on account of I can't understand you, because your famous face is full
I was
of
actually
dough.
trying to figure out which one this was from.
Time for your starring role.
Yes! Beat the shit out of her!
Which is
Finally,
four.
yes!
That is a pancake. Oh,
I love how weird this is, and I saw it out of context, so I thought it was somebody's fan fiction or fan art. But no.
now just a
Ah, so weird.
make it taste just right.
Delightfully sadistic.
Come and get it. I will yell. I don't blame you, Ula.
Oh, come on.
Nanette and her fickle friends would leave a bitter taste in anyone's mouth.
Oh, no cannibalism?
You're gonna have to pay for them, you know.
Well, Angela, I hope you're not too disappointed by the results. After all, you were Trey out of your league.
Down, Benny. It's okay.
Aw, Gordy being a sweetheart.
Thank you all for coming. So, without further ado, I give you the new Mapperson Bakery Truck face.
Me? Oh, what a modern surprise! I only hope that Gina Lash...
Bitch! What the fuck?
Mapperson, I didn't even give you my picture.
I didn't need one. You're in the store every day. What other face would I choose to grace the truck but the one belonging to my best customer?
My fellow Mappersons...
And it's,
I'm afraid I must decline this crown and my place on the truck. I cannot taint the sweet taste of poppy seed muffins with the evil seeds of commercialism.
Oh, and besides the crown of rye, you also get all-you-can-eat cinnamon swirls.
For the rest of my life?
No, for the rest of the day.
Good enough.
what a hypocrite.
Miss Angela Anaconda, I know you wanted to be on that truck, and you must be jealous of my all-you-can-eat cinnamon swirls.
What a bitch.
Actually, Gina Lash, if I never see another Mapperson's product again, I'll be just fine. I suppose it makes sense that you won, Gina Lash. You are Mr. Mapperson's biggest customer. I'm so
Wow,
sorry
that was
to
shitty.
place on the truck, Angela. I guess you just didn't have the necessary je ne sais quoi, which is French for life is rough. Well, for your information, Nanette Manoir, you didn't get your face anywhere either. Au contraire, Angela. Mr.
how much her poodle liked my muffins, I said to myself, that's the new face of Mapperson's Meaty Munch Doggy Treats.
Doggy treats?
That's right.
I guess you're
That's
right,
hilarious.
Life is rough.
First things first, why is this episode called Mapperson's Daughter? It's never addressed that he has a daughter. It's not the focus of the episode, so it makes absolutely no sense. My main thought, the hypocrisy is strong in this episode. In a lot of other episodes, you have Angela criticizing Nanette for sucking up to Mrs. Brinks. But here she is sucking up to Mr. Mapperson to get in his good graces to win this contest. And she's not always called out on her flaws. She's not always called out on her actions. But at the very least, Angela does have redeeming qualities, and she can be selfish, but in a way where she is a real kid, and she feels like a real kid, and kids can be very selfish. But Angela does have her more sympathetic moments, and she is very creative, and she is a fun, interesting character. Gina Lash, however, not a fan, and there's way too much of her in this episode. She's a one-note character. She spends the episode self-righteously denouncing this contest as commercialism when it feels more like this is just a fun thing to do. And as much as things do get over-promoted, marketing your business is just necessary as a business. It definitely didn't feel as a commercialism thing. It felt like, hey, this is just a small-town baker trying to get some publicity, so why she's being so self-righteous rubs me the wrong way. Not to mention, she doesn't even enter the contest and wins, which is also bullshit. And then, of course, she quickly changes her mind when she gets free food. Not a fan of that character. This is an episode that is a weird one. It is a jumbled... The pacing I often think is a little odd in the show, and this one is an example of that. It doesn't... There is a lot going on, but it all feels very rushed. But again, there are good ideas here. There are funny ideas here. I love the idea that Angela and Nanette will compete for attention in such a small town way, in such a petty small town way that in the long run doesn't really matter. But, to them it does. And that you can get a lot of comedy out of. And it is fun. And I think the last episode I reviewed, The Big Hoedown, which really should have been called The Attention Hoedown, did some of this a lot better, because it's still a competition between Angela and Nanette cheats, revenge fantasy, and then Angela gets a small victory. This one, Angela plays just as dirty as Nanette, and I do like the fact that she loses. But I guess because Nanette played dirtier, she still got something that she thought she wanted, but she didn't, so that the punishment of Nanette didn't bother me, really. But the fact that all the nonsense surrounding Gina and Angela's hypocrisy, mostly Gina's, that is harder to swallow. It is not as well put together. It would have worked if Angela was just being honest the whole time and maybe checking in on the photo contest, seeing what Mr. Mapperson is looking for. And of course, then you could have Nanette being the one who really sucks up and overdoing it. You could have gotten some comedy out of that. And I don't mind that the winner is somebody totally different, but I don't like the fact that it's someone who didn't even enter, who is self-righteously condemning it and then changing her mind. And it feels like we're supposed to like Gina and we're supposed to be rooting for her because she's more noble for not participating in commercialism. And it really does not come off that way. Okay, I'm probably not explaining this all that well. What I mean is, if it were played for satire, if it were clearly intended that we know Gina's a hypocrite and yet she wins anyway, that would have been really funny, but it's not played that way. We're supposed to think she is more noble for not participating in commercialism, but then she still changes her mind regardless. It's something in the performance of the character, something in the way it's presented that really does not come off. We're supposed to feel like, oh, this is the more likable option because Angela and Nanette are both playing dirty. But Angela's not called out on her sucking up. So nobody comes out here looking all that great. And it doesn't feel like it was intentionally played for comedy. And honestly, the way a lot of these ideas could be communicated better is if they're exaggerated a little bit more. It could have been funny. It could have been funnier satire if the person who didn't even want it gets it, or if the person who's self-righteous. It could have been played more for satire, that Gina's hypocrisy, essentially smugly denouncing it, but when winning, totally takes advantage of it. But I would have liked it more if she had actually entered. That could have been funnier. But we are expected to root for her, and that does really irk me. Overall, I do like the setting because we see Mapperson's bakery a lot in the show. It is cool to see the location. I like Mr. Mapperson as a character. He seems like a really sweet, pleasant character, and that's always very welcome. I do love Gordy, as always. I do like that Johnny pulls one over on Angela, because again, he does get so much abuse in the show, so I don't mind that he does. I definitely don't mind that he, I guess, throws her off this time around. It's such a small thing. But ultimately, I would have liked to see, in general, I want to see the friends like each other and get along and have fun. And have the characters we're supposed to hate, we hate them, but we have fun hating them. I do actually like Nanette as a character. I think she is so much fun to hate. I do genuinely enjoy Ruby Smith-Mervitz's performance, and I do think Nanette is a funny character. I do like her as the main antagonist of the show. She's fun to hate. It's interesting because sometimes it can be harder to create a likable character than a hateable one. You know, it's easier to destroy than to create. I think if Angela was a little more sympathetic, if Gina was a little more sympathetic, or if the comedy was pushed further, it is interesting because there are good ideas in this show, but they're not always pushed as far as they could be, so the exaggeration doesn't come across, and therefore the comedy doesn't always land. There are good lines, like Johnny's line about the shut-ins, which is more relevant today. So, yeah, not the biggest fan of this episode, but there is a lot of potential in it. Anyways, go get yourself some cinnamon swirls tonight, and see you next week.